you ever seen a roo kick? Have you ever seen an emu run under the bright Aussie skies and said this year we'll be the ones? Oi, oi, oi! What does it mean to be a part of a footy team? It's more than a game. The footy's in our veins. It's time to go. It's the Northern Footy Show. Get out of our way. We wanna see them play.
All right, guys, welcome to the Northern Footy Show, the Sunday wrap-up. We're just waiting for one of our special guests to come in. So we're a couple of minutes late, but he'll be in a second. He is having dramas with the microphone. Bono's another big weekend of sport, another big weekend of results. And, you know, the plan is here to have two special guests. Might be one the way Coe's going. Not much reception in Kilmore Brock. But let's start with you, Brock. Welcome to the show from North Heidleberg. Absolute star this year, killing it at the moment. Welcome
thanks,
to our Sunday show, and thanks for making time.
No, thanks for having me.
Brock, let me ask you, you guys have had another big victory this weekend. You're having a ripper season. You've kicked 22 goals for the season, and 8 of those have come from the last 3 weeks, 3, 3 and 2. A season-high 4 against Mont. Parker has already sent us private messages saying, cut it out, you're starting to take goals away from the goal-kicking award. You must be stoked the way your season is going, buddy.
Yeah, it's going all right at the moment. Yeah, obviously me and Parker have formed a little 1-2 down there, which is good. But, yeah, it's full credit to the mids, you know, getting the ball down there. And, yeah, we just have to play our role and try to put some goals on the board for the side. But, yeah, at the moment, things are really good at the moment, so yeah.
I had the opportunity to come down when you played Greensey, and there's a lot of injuries and a lot of changes every week. It's seeing these guys come in, get an opportunity. I was really impressed with how, you know, you played the old-fashioned North Heidleberg way, the tough, the strong, getting your bodies around the ball. I couldn't have been any more amazed at how well everyone's fitted in with the amount of injuries. Has it been a bit of a challenge trying to get that consistency of players, or do the players you come in kind of know their role anyway?
Yeah, to be honest, it's probably been our biggest challenge this year, the amount of blokes that we've had out. And it's full credit to the guys that have come in and played a role as well. You know, they've done really good jobs, whether they be reserves or under-19s blokes that have stepped up. But yeah, it's definitely been a challenge. Just not really having that continuity over a period of time. But we're starting to get some troops back now, which is nice.
One of the questions I was going to ask you, just seem to be hitting your straps at the right time of the year, Brock, right now. And
yeah.
Maddie and I seem to say this most weeks. You can't win a final in May or June or even July. Look who's come late to dinner, but we'll come to you, Josh, in a minute.
Sorry, mate.
But you've hit your straps at the right time of the year, and having this form is going to help you. Must be great to have access to someone like Boomer Harvey, who I got to watch you and him both destroy my side Bundura a couple of weeks ago. But you must be ecstatic. The guys coming back in there at the moment. You got Tardio to return. He didn't return this week, did he?
Nah, he will be back after the bye. I'm thinking, so.
What a star to bring back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's an absolute superstar, and just the way he presents himself at training as well. You know, he's the first bloke there, last person to leave most of the time, and always doing extras and setting the standard for us. So yeah, he'll be nice to have back in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
And you're saying you had a bit of a 1-2 with Big Parker down there. Does he push you out a bit further to get one out in the square so he doesn't have to run too far? Because he's got
he's all right. He's all right.
Sometimes, got a good pair of hands on him. So yeah.
He's a really, really special talent for us. And I think he's only played 30 senior games off the top of my head, which is amazing that he's leading the goal kicking. So he's still got so much to learn and so much potential to keep spruiking. So he's going to be a very special player for us for a long time.
He is indeed. Now, Brock, we're going to come back to you in a second. Now, down in Kilmore, everything happens a little bit slower, Brock, so you're going to have to slow it down a little bit here because Joshy clearly got 6 o'clock with 6:05 all misunderstood. Has been known to sleep in on the odd day. Josh, thanks for coming on the show, Joshy, and thanks for coming in late. You're all about the big entrance. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
mate. Big weekend for you guys as well. You're really pushing for that finals spot now, aren't you, Josh? It's going to be a fight, but you're going there.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. Like this division has been as competitive as I've ever seen it, and it just goes to show that anyone can beat anyone. And that's kind of the mentality that we're going with. We just got to just keep playing your brand of footy, and we see so many upsets that you call it people taking scalps, but then it comes down to it's happening so regularly. It's like, well, then anyone has that position. Anyone can kind of on their day kind of show what they're about, and that's what we're trying to prove. We're all like kind of young, got that young kind of age, so we're just trying to play each week and take it from there, really. Yeah.
Do you feel like a little bit of that? Yeah, that's my way. I stopped taking my job there, Coe. Do you feel like a little bit of the youngness is that, I guess, the up and downs? Because some of the wins that you've had, I mean, I remember we went back start of the season, you got Old Paradians really well down at Kilmore, then kind of a couple of games you should have kept in and you dropped. So did you feel maybe the maturity now starting to kick in and you might get a little bit of that plateau of every week competitive?
That's exactly what we've taken in. We're a very young side. I think our average age was something around the 23 and a half, something like that. We have your Chris Bartons and your Mickey Marritts who are just unbelievable leaders, and they do it each tough every week, and they're kind of like the standard, and we kind of just try and rise to that kind of level of competitive and the professionalism that they show, and we're all trying to have a bit of that in us. I think it's hard for like myself as well. Like haven't really hit around that 50 game seniors, and a lot of other boys in my team, they're the same. They're trying to come through the ranks, and it's just trying to get that bit of fight about us and to know what it takes in the dying moments. I think that's what we're trying to improve on, stuff like that.
Yep.
And it has bitten us definitely in a couple of our games. You can see that we sometimes shy away from taking the game on, where we've tried to save a game rather than win it, and it shows it doesn't really come off. And you just have to keep that hunger and keep taking the risks, and it will show that it'll come off.
Coe, we had your coach on a couple of weeks ago, Paul, who was a bit of a rap for you. So you've obviously slipped him $50 under the table, but that's okay. We understand that's what happens at this level. But in all seriousness, you had a departure from Mernda at the end of last year in a grand final side and headed over to Kilmore. How do you find, and this is a question for others, because there's always so much movement in the off-season, and initially you probably didn't want to move, I guess, but how have you found the move over to Kilmore and, how have you been accepted there? Because I only hear amazing things, to be honest, Josh.
Yeah, it was probably we're talking footy here, but it's probably one of the hardest things I've had to go through in talking about footy. Mernda's been the club I've always been at. I've played all my footy there. My dad's played his footy there. My pops won grand finals there, kind of thing. So it's a family club, and I've always been around it when I was a kid. And I've also got my best mates there, of course, that I still talk to regularly. And it was very tough because it was more for myself an opportunity where I knew, talking through Desi and meeting some of the blokes there, like the opportunity that I was going to get at Kilmore was nothing like I could have yet had at Mernda, and I went back and forth. I had a phone call with King. I had multiple conversations with Fletch about it, and he, at the end of the day, respected my decision and supported me and said, just go for what you think's best, kind of thing. And getting to Kilmore was a bit nervous. The only people I knew was Kai Ma and Max Akorsha. Just getting around them, I was a bit quiet and stuff. But the first couple of training sessions, as great footy clubs do, they open you with arms and they take you in and they make you feel a part of it from day one. And I've got nothing but raps for the club, and I'm happy. And they've given so much for me, looked after me so far. I'm just happy to give back and go from there.
Just on a bit of a side note, did I read right that the coach has re-signed to next year as well? I thought I read a couple of weeks ago that he'd re-signed for next year. Is that true, or am I reading something completely wrong?
That is true.
Yeah.
I've re-signed. Yeah, I re-signed for next year. Yeah, did that start of the week a couple of weeks ago.
Before the games against the Mooney, are you one of those blokes that sends the cheeky text messages or start to throw out a little bit of a fishing rod and just see if you can get anyone to bite on a few of those things?
Well, I'm in a group chat with all my mates that play there, and I usually cop them, and they're all gang up on me. But it's out of good fun, and I'm always happy to have a beer and a laugh after the game and stuff. But they are of course, this week a big game, and I'm just really wrapped and happy to play back at Myrna again. But I do want to get one up on them. That was the last time we played them. They got us by 2 points, and that just shows again that the comp's so tight. But yeah, that one really stung, but we'd be wrapped to get one back for sure.
Well, Brock, is this your first senior club?
No, I played senior footy at Craigieburn. Before coming across to North Heidleberg, yeah.
How did you find the change? What made you move, and how did you find the change?
Well, what made me move was I wanted to keep playing Division 1 footy. And then one of your mates, actually, Kevy Elms, he's a family member of mine, and he's sort of put the word across and got me across to North Heidelberg, and yeah, it's a really good standard of footy. Took me a little bit to get used to, but yeah, it's now that I'm there, I'm loving it, and yeah, I haven't looked back. So.
No, it's a great club. It really is. In the short time I spent there, they make you feel like family straight away. And please don't ever call Elmsy my mate. We're just throwing words around now. What's happened here? Rob Fletcher straight into you, Coe. It must have been big bucks, he reckons, to get you over to Kilmore.
No way.
We can get a bit. Now, boys, has anybody ever told the both of you resemble movie stars? Now, don't tell me who they've said you look like, because we've had 4 that I've nominated, and someone has sent one in today. I don't know where it come from, but I asked Brock before if you were here on time, Joshy, you would have got to do this. Let me go through this. Let me go through this with you. And Coe, we're going to start with you because you've been at my office 1,000 times, and I've been through this with you. So we've never had lookalikes on the show. All right, so here we go. Coe.
Yeah. Called that
I
one
was never going to let this go, Coe. So Goose, and he's not a bad-looking rooster, and you're not a bad-looking rooster, similar height. So surely you've heard that one before.
Yeah, I heard that multiple times, not just from you. So I'll happily take that.
All right, take that. That's a good one. Now, Brock, your surname, Chircop. What nationality is that?
Maltese, it is.
Not anymore, mate. You are Russian. Have a look at this. Now, Vladimir Mashkov was out of Mission Impossible and Behind Enemy Lines. Absolute split in image. If you get called Vlad this week at training, the boys have done a fantastic job. Now, I have no idea where this one come from. This is odd. I don't want to get in trouble there because it's Bonners. I would do anything to protect you. This has been snuck in.
I know where that came from. I don't know where
this come from, but to me, these two look identical. I can't even see who it's just both Matt. Now, young Cade Fitzpatrick, superstar down at Diamond Creek. Now, he's actually sitting upstairs in my house right now. He's been dreading this for the last hour. But what do you reckon, boys? How spot on have I got this? Is ear splitting or what?
He'd be right with that one, I reckon.
He'd be pretty happy with that. He can breathe. I can hear them laughing upstairs, so that's all right. Now, this one I did not send in. And
rubbish.
I think this is Kate has just come down and given me the bird from upstairs, but that's all right. But this one, look, I put this photo in just before, boys. You be the judge. I'm not one to take credit here, but what's this? What's going on?
Oh,
Is this splitting image?
yeah, it has to be.
Actually related by blood. We did DNA tests. Now, if you guys have got any lookalikes, we want them all in for our end of year grand final show. We want to put them up. We want to have a little bit of fun with them. What did you reckon, Brock? How did I go? How many of them actually looked like who they're supposed to? Was Coey's pretty close?
I got stitched up the hardest, I reckon.
Really?
But,
Really?
Yeah.
Did you, Brock? Really?
Did you really? I'm not sure Maddie's going to agree with you there, Coey. Definitely. I don't know why Cade came down and gave me the bird. He should have been pretty happy with that. Heath Ledger's not a bad-looking rooster. So if anyone's got any lookalikes, please send them in. Hang on, what have we got?
Ivan
Soldo for Coey. That's actually a ripper, Max. I should have put that one in. That's a cracker. All right, boys, let's talk footy for a second. Full-time Division 3 on the weekend, and the results in this division are getting tougher and tougher. Coey, we'll get your opinion on these, and we'll leave Kilmore to last. Old Paradians went out and said, bang, bang, bang to Reservoir, 2017, 137, defeated Reservoir, 1-7-13. I'm not sure how much more we can say about this, but your alter ego over there, Sam Gilmore, probably had about 712 tap-outs, just a few less than you average, but that was expected, surely, Bonners and Coey.
Yeah, he's a superstar.
Yeah, they're just coming. We're coming to the pointy end now. You'll start to see some of these sides really start to hit their straps. I mean, we'll see that in Divi 1 as well. But, your Divi 3 competition, I think, is really starting to hot up. But the top teams are starting to show their measure and starting to set the bar pretty high, I reckon.
Let's talk Ivanhoe. 7-4-46 were defeated by Old Eltham Collegians, 7-10-52, and they needed to win, Old Eltham Collegians. I have given them an absolute hiding over the last couple of weeks. It was an important win for them, Bonners. They had to win after a horrible mid-season slump. Absolute shocker, but they're back. And I've got to tell you, again, like I was saying to Brock, they're hitting form at the right time. They're starting to win the close ones.
Yeah, they did at the start. I mean, they've never really blown teams away. They've always been hanging around, beat some of the best sides in the last quarter. So it does add a little bit of interest to the real top end. But might make games for Kilmore a little bit harder too if it's just on the edge. But it was a good win, and probably for me a little bit unexpected, but still a great win.
Just before we move on to the next game, what the hell is this? What Macazad did you star in?
Is
this true?
No, he'll post it. I guarantee he'll post it. He's a peanut.
You get that up, Mark. Now, Mark's a ripper guy too. I want to get that up. We might save that for the grand final show. If you're in a Macazad, I bet you it was eaten by the size of it. Anyway, moving on. So then we get to
last houses.
Fitzroy Stars. I got my slim filter on tonight. Fitzroy Stars 8-7-55 defeated Mernda, Coey's old stomping ground, 3-6-24. Now, Bonners, I've had Mernda as favourite all year. I said to you last week, if Mernda get done, I will absolutely have to change my odds. So I've changed them. I've got the book out. I've now got Fitzroy Stars at $1.10. Mernda have eased to $1.40. And I've got Old Peas at $1.42. They're the three that I think are most dangerous right now. Now, they would ease a little bit further, Mernda, if Coey's just to say, hey, Fletch, should have given me an extra 20K, I would have hung around. What's your opinion on that result, Coey? That's a big result for the Stars.
Fitzroy, they're an absolutely polished team. It looks like when we played them at the start of the year. They touched us up, and the way they can move the footy is so quick, so skillful. Like you look at the names, they've got stars, Div 1 stars, and they're so professional, and especially on their home deck. Like I think they haven't lost a game all year, I believe, on their own deck, and you can just see why because of their ball use. And I was even watching highlight footage of the Old Paradians game when they were playing against Fitzroy as well, and you have Sam Gilmore, unbelievable ruckman, and he's doing everything he can, but the way that they can still clean up footy and move it through the ground is it's scary, but it's a good challenge for everyone. And but as I said earlier, anyone can beat anyone in this comp on their day, and it's proved that way. They're not impossible to defeat Fitzroy, but they're definitely the top, I reckon.
Yeah, it's the one thing that I've said from the start. Like, we went down there pre-season, and you just look around. Their runners had 99 games, so he could come out and play in the finals. Let's get him for the last three, Mungara Brown. But then you look at all the other blokes running around, and it's just a star-studded side. When you add Kane Proctor to, Jai Burns in the middle, Ahmed Saad, I think, down a half back. You've got one of the best full forwards in the comp, just kicking goals at left, right, and centre. You don't find a weak, Neville Jetta as well. You basically, you don't see a weakness. But as I've said with Heidelberg, with Divi 1, Brock, and you'll see this too, that until that premiership medal's around your neck, it doesn't mean a lot this time of the year. It just gives you the right to actually push yourself up. But they're definitely setting a standard.
Apparently on the weekend, they yelled out from the sidelines, Proctor, get off, and they lost 16 players. Look at them, which doesn't matter. Then let's get to your game, Coe. Huge win, 11-11-77. Did you kick a goal on the weekend, Coe? Is that true or not true?
Nah, not true. Got stitched up, I reckon. Didn't quite go my way.
Right, okay. Why do you reckon you got stitched? Was it a behind?
Or was it on the full?
I took it out of the ruck and I gave it a crack, and it definitely didn't go anywhere near it.
Right.
But
You've kicked one goal for the season, though. That's a start, isn't it?
Yeah, kicked one goal directly in front of the goal line, so that helped me out. But
how many do you reckon you've kicked for the season? Because I know how many you're on and how many Brock's on. How many do you reckon you've kicked for your career? Sorry, not the season, your career, whole career.
My whole career, senior career?
No, everything, juniors, seniors, all your games in this league.
Probably would be around 30, I reckon.
No, it's
I'm not much of a goal kicker.
Yeah, 50 on the dot.
Oh, there you go. I'll take that.
And Brock, how many do you reckon you're on?
Maybe 250.
You're on 299. Your next goal is your 300th.
Oh, there you go.
Huge.
They're coming from the crowd, Brock. Coming from the crowd.
Parker will have to come and give you a high five, although he's told me he won't. He's not impressed with you at the moment. But anyway, so huge win against Heidelberg. What's that, sorry?
I said he's a bit unhappy at the moment.
So, Coe, huge win against Heidelberg West, 11-11-77, beat Heidelberg West 5-9. 39. Heidelberg West is done. They've packed up for the season. But, you've left your run late, Coe. You're still a huge chance. I did say to George Yankos, Matty's friend, the other day, that I reckon Mernda want to be careful here because it's still a huge fight. Let me show you how close this fight is in Division 3. So you've got Kilmore sitting on, 28 points. You're only 4 points off fourth position, Coe.
Yeah. So that's where, definitely even the run late. So every game's obviously, like we've been saying, every game from now is like a final for us, a mini final. We have to take it as seriously as you can. We can't afford to drop a game. We dropped one against Parade, which we wish we had a bit more fight in us about. But that comes to the maturity. We definitely touched on about that. But from now, we're just trying to finish every game and make sure we finish every game. Be as determined as possible because it's one game out from top 4 and it's top 5 for finals. So we want to try and make sure the results go our way, and we want to treat every game because we still believe we can win every game. We have some tough games. It's a very tough run home. Don't get me wrong that we have, but if we play your best footy, then you're definitely going to get the result that you're after.
And there's a lot of games anyway that's kind of back and forth. So you're always going to pick up the ones maybe you probably thought were going to be a little bit harder, or you can get some top sides when there's injuries. And you can always pick up those games later in the year. But I reckon it's a fantastic test to see where you guys are and see what, I guess, you need to do to push yourself up to the top 2 or 3.
What's going on here is Max not happy. Max needs to get his head on the show. When Max, it's an open invitation, buddy. You just reach out, we'll get you on. Coe's hassled me for 6 weeks, Bonners, to get on the show. How do I get it in?
I thought you said 7.
Forget about Farmer wants a wife. Kilmore footy player wants a wife. That's what's going on here. All right, Brock, let's move over to you. So Division 1, huge weekend. We'll leave your game to last. So West Preston came out 8-10, 58, beat Eltham 3-10. I wouldn't have thought Bongo would be too happy with 3-10, 28, but hats off to West Preston. I thought Eltham would get the chocolates. Every time I tip against West, they seem to win. So Ian Aiken's probably wanting me to tip against them every week, but that's a big win. West Preston aren't a bad side, Brock. That's the truth.
No,
They're not a bad side at all.
No, they actually they beat us at home. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was one of our probably more disappointing games of the year. But they're all like what Josh said before. All across the division, you can't take anyone for granted or anything like that. Every side's got quality players, and on their day, anyone can beat anyone. So yeah, West Preston are certainly still a very good outfit.
They are. They're going to be a good side next year as well. Now, Bonners the other day had some big kahunas and put them on the table in front of the Hyde Family Trust and said that Banyule will beat Greensborough, and that's exactly what they did. 8-11-59. They beat Greensborough 5-5-35. Greensborough, Matty, are they in trouble? I did say to the boys, you need to win this weekend or you're really pushing shit uphill. If you have a look at the ladder for Divi 1, excuse me, Greensy's only sitting 4 points out, but still a tough run home there as well, Bonners.
Yeah, well, we always said out of the Monty, North, Banyule, Hurstbridge and Greensy, someone's going to miss out. So it makes it a cracking end of the season. I feel of all the teams that they haven't kind of produced against the bigger sides, and that was my only reason, I guess, for going Banyule. Banyule have had a couple of bad weeks, but I just feel that of all the teams up there, between them and Hurstbridge are the ones that really kind of need to show themselves against the top sides. I've seen North Heidleberg a few times, and the way they kind of compete, for me, they're probably, one of the third or fourth best teams in the comp as well. So it's an open race, but I definitely felt that Banyule was probably the better side.
I sort of liken Greensborough to Kilmore, that they're both just right on that cusp of greatness. They can beat anybody on their day. It's just putting it together consistently enough. Coe, you guys will rue that loss to Laylaw earlier in the year. It might cost you a final spot, and you just can't. Good sides can't afford to drop those sides. And Brock, you'll know yourself, if you've dropped one to West Preston, you can't take your foot off the pedal for 1 second, can you? It'll just bite you in the ass before you know it, and your season could be over.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, the other thing too, I think before you go on, the other thing too is that when we spoke to Heidi, and I've spoken to him off camera as well, that similar to Kilmore, that I reckon their average age would be about 22, 23 as well. So they're still getting the gist of playing together, and that immaturity, I think, is sometimes the thing that gets you in the big game. So
I tend to agree, and a bit more love for Josh there as well. All right, Hurstbridge, 7-12-54 were defeated by Montmorency, 10-9-69. Monty make a fair income statement. They had a little lull there themselves, but they've got it back together, and not to make excuses because injuries and Bonner's favourite topic, people going to Europe in footy season. The boys are back, and they've come back, and that's a pretty strong win. I know it was only 15 points, but that's a strong win at Hurstbridge.
Yeah, look, I'm still unconvinced on Hursty's form, to be honest. I still feel like of all the teams in the top six, that them and Greensborough are the two that really haven't convinced me as much to be in the top four. So, they're playing great games and then they're having lulls, but it's no big disappointment to lose to Monty. They're definitely a side on the rise. So.
Yeah. Brock, you've played against both of these sides. Montmorency can be very dangerous on their day, can't they? And so can Hursty, but Monty can be bloody scary when they're on song.
Yep. They go say a fair touch-up early in the year this year. They are another, like I said before, another quality outfit, Monty. So, yeah, we got after the week off next week, we play against them at Mont. So, no better task in our comp. So, we're looking forward to it.
It's a good point because you've got Monty, and then following them, you've got Eltham, Hursty, Banyule to finish your season. You don't have an easy walk in the park home. You're going to have to earn this finals position. But I think you're capable of beating all those sides. Banyule will probably give you, I think, your hardest test. But I do think you have hit the right form there, which brings us to your game. So North Heidelberg, one before that, Heidelberg 16-9-105 defeated Bundoora 4-4-28. Pretty expected, Bonners. Nothing, I think it was in line with our tipping.
Yeah, look, part of me a little bit thankful it was a bit wet on the weekend. So, because I reckon this could have really blown out. They're just a well-tuned group, as Brock has said. You get rid of some VFL, they bring others VFL in. You also got old ex-AFLs. You got your Braden Sears, you got KP off the back. You've got Dylan Clark in the middle, big boys up forward. So it's just a powerhouse. But as I said, until the things around your neck, it's still an open season.
100%. They're a great side, Brock, aren't they, Heidelberg? I mean, you can't help really but be in awe when I don't play against them, but when I watch them, I'm in awe. I watch a fair bit of their replays each week, and they are a possession side football. Vinny's got them playing a good brand of footy, and they've got the talent.
Yep. They're outstanding. There's no other way to put it, really. They're very hard to play against. They're all so structured and all on the same page, and they're very, very good side. Yeah.
Message just come through on the private, Coe. It's the Kilmore Bank, and they said, please don't cash your whole check at once. The little town of Kilmore can't afford it. So just you're getting a bit of grief about the $40,000 you took there this year, but let's not focus on the money.
No worries.
North Heidleberg 9-11-65 defeated McLeod 7-4-47. As we say, Brock, form is important, and you've hit it all at the right time. You've got to be overall satisfied where you are right now. I would be. I think you're sitting third on the ladder. Oops, I better not show that other photo again. I'll get killed. You're sitting third on the ladder. Is it 36 points? You're one game clear of Greensborough and Hurstbridge. The rest is daylight, but, really second spot is there for you to have.
Yeah, it's up for grabs, and like you said, we do sort of feel like we're hitting our straps at the right time. Our last probably 3 weeks has been probably our best 3 weeks of the year. And like I said to you before, we're starting to get some players back now, and being healthy is important. So, like you said, we've got 3 of the 4 contenders in our run home. So, hopefully we can continue our form, and we're definitely aiming for that second position. That's for sure. Yeah.
But it must be a good thing, though, coming into finals. I mean, I think one of the things in the past, you don't really want to kind of soft draw coming into finals. You want to be tested every single week. You want to be battle hard. So when you run into finals, you've already played them. You know what you have to do. And you kind of feel like you're probably more well-oiled by the time you get to finals.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't put it any other way. I think playing the better sides in the lead up to finals is a massive positive for us. It's almost like a 6-week season that we could start from 2 weeks from this weekend. So we're, as I said, 3 of the 4 contenders. It's a tough run home, but it'll put us in good stead. See where we're at.
We spent a bit of time, Bonners and I, with a heap of the other legends who we're putting some sides, or we're not putting together. The legends are putting the sides together for yesteryear versus today. A lot of North Heidelberg names in there, but I reckon Jason Heatley's gone a bit soft, Brock. I reckon he used to be a little bit of a yeller and a screamer when I remember him down there. He's actually turned into a real soft, lovely spoken gentleman. He was the least aggressive guy in the room the other day. What's he like? And I love Jace. He's a ripper guy. What's he like on game day? Is he still as intense as all hell on game day?
Yeah, he from what I've only known Jace for 3 years, but from what I've heard, he's definitely tamed down a little bit. But he's a legend. His knowledge and that is, it's second to none. He's an awesome coach, and not only Jace, we got 3 really good assistant coaches as well. Casey, Brent, and Doug, and they put in a power of work to for us to get the most out of our footy. So all of our coaches are awesome. So couldn't speak highly enough of them.
We had the opportunity to speak to Casey pre-season, and we couldn't have been, more happy with what he was saying. And he does look like he has a great wealth of knowledge, and back up the great man Jace Heatley as well. So
Casey's he's a real positive get for us at North. His buy-in is as good as we've seen. Really, he's always on the phone to us and checking in on how we're going, giving us feedback, and just doing everything he can to make us better. So he's a champ.
Now, we have a little bit more time tonight because there's no Division 2 because they had a bye, despite Matt reading out sides and tips the other day. God knows why he did that, but not following the game close enough. But let's not pick on him. This is a perfect opportune time, Brock and Josh, for you to tell me who your favourite player. This is like a pre-season question we did, isn't it, Bonners? Coe, we're going to start with you, which gives Brock some thinking time. Coe, who's your favourite person at the club? Who's the bloke that will never, ever get a shout, no matter what? And what was the third one, Bonners, we were asking?
Who's a shout?
Favourite player, who won't get a shout?
Who's the best? Who was the one name that we probably wouldn't know about that we'll know by the end of the year?
Yes, like who's an upcoming star? Excellent. So go, Josh. Let's
start
with
yourself, Coe.
Who's your favourite? Who's your favourite bloke at the club?
My favourite bloke at the club. It's hard to split between two, but the one I met sort of at the club and got more close to the club would be Max LaCourche. He's the kind of bloke that leads our functions. He's a deputy vice captain on the field as well, and he's taken a lot of on the plate this year. And he's our same age as us, but he's taken a lot of responsibility on, and he's done it pretty well. And coming over, he was probably the bloke that got me to fit in with the rest of the club the best. So I'd have to say I'll give that one to Maxi. And what was the next one?
Who's not hitting their kick? Who will not buy a shout? Who's the tightest bloke at the club? Name and shame him.
That is going to go to Jaden Smith. That bloke's so tight he'd probably squeak. He actually, funny one. We had our 10K draw the other week, and I bought all the boys first round that we came up with. Anyways, I was like, Jaden, your shout, you're next. And he looks at me, he's like, oh, what do you want? I'm like, these again. I bought them, premixes. And he goes, oh, but they're not free. Why are we getting them? So he'd have to be the tightest bloke. Wow. He wouldn't get around to free beers. So sorry, Panna, Smitty, but that's you. And the last one.
Who's the upcoming star? Who's a young kid that's kind of come in the side that might not be known now, but might be a household name in about 3 or 4 years?
That will go to Jake Beattie, I reckon. Jake Beattie is a very quiet kid, very hard on himself, but he's probably the most determined bloke I've met. He has been massive for us our entire season so far. He's been, if we've ever had a rough day or a bad game, he's young, he's tough, but he's always the one putting his hand up. He's had the biggest job playing on your Scott Selwoods, played on who else from Turtles, Brent McCaffar. He had trying to run with them all day, and they're big star names, and he's running along with them all day. And he's winning his own footy as well, and he's been pivotal for us on the wing. And when he goes on ball, he's just doing his job to a T. He's very disciplined. So I think he'd be the name that I reckon we should be looking out for.
That's a big wrap up too, and that's awesome. Now, Brock, I can see your brain burning heavy here. Like, who are you going to insult along the way? This show is all about bringing people down. So, your favourite player, don't split it in two. You got to tell me your favourite player at the club.
Oh, it's a tough one. There's lots of them. I'm very close with a lot of the boys, but
pick one, Brock.
I'm gonna go. I'll say Nick Matthews, big bear.
Okay, and why?
Why? He's just get along really well with him. He's a legend of a fella. So, he'd be up there with me, one of my favourites.
You're getting some love for your answers there, Coe. So that helps. Brock may not get much love because Parker's name didn't come up, so that's okay.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. Phone's about to blow up.
So who's the tight ass at the club? You get down to the kennel bar. You've bought a shout. You've put someone in the shout. Who's done the magic, mate? The wife's on the phone. I've got to go.
If you can get a beer out of Jesse Tardio, I'll give you a medal myself.
Straight away gone, Jesse Tardio.
And I'll have to say Jared Crosby as well.
I think Jesse's name came up pre-season as well, so that's real interesting. What have we got here? They're starting to come through. Curtis Chopper is the biggest tight ass I've ever seen. There's some other love coming out. There's a bit of love. How was Turbo last night? What's going on there? I'm not sure.
Curtis has been on the force all day, I think.
He's been on it hard. Oh, look out, here comes Farmer Wants a Wife. Is this ask him if he still sleeps in a single bed? It never really takes long, Brock, but when you've got to separate people get shitty and they jump on, and that's what we love about it. All right, last one. Who's your star this season who's come out and made a difference, and you reckon he's going to be a superstar at the club?
Oh, it's hard to go past Parker Heatley. Obviously, what he's done this year's been super for a bloke that's still under 19s eligible, but I think we had 3 or 4 blokes yesterday that played that are still under 19s eligible. Another one that is Zane Suleiman. Had a massive preseason. And I think he'll be a special player for North for a long time as well. Yeah.
What's going on here? This is going into meltdown at the moment. Apparently, who sleeps in the single bed? Is this you, Brock?
Yeah, apparently Benny's on the source as well, I think.
King single. getting the love pretty hard.
It was only a matter of time before they all started rolling in.
Oh, yeah, mate. No, look, don't worry. Parker got his fair share, and someone else, late to the game, just tuning in. That's right. Phil watches the show every week. Has sent some great messages in on replay as well. Chopper's never been on a ride at the Melbourne show. This always gets ugly and needs to take a step ladder to take a piss. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. This is actually the worst show to put yourself on there. Yeah. Elmsy will definitely give you a media fine for this. This will cost you $50, and we ain't paying 1 cent of it because Bonners is the tightest guy I know. So no dramas about that. All right. So happy birthday. He's Scotland Bundoora coach. Birthday today. We reached out for that one as well. Guys, we really appreciate you coming onto the show. It's good for your club. Tell me your sponsors, boys. I see you're covered in Toyota stuff there. You could be the only club sponsored by Toyota, Coe.
Yeah, actually.
No wonder they can give you $40,000 in the bush.
Yeah, don't forget the Hilux. Chrissy Johnson. Chrissy Johnson came down actually, and Toyota's been massive for us. We had Chrissy Johnson come down with Xavier Carey, and we have for the Indigenous round jerseys we were against Heidelberg West. And Toyota's also managed to get Jamie Elliott down. He took us through a bit of a masterclass as well. So they've been super for us. They've been grouse.
Now, do you have a personal sponsor there as well for you, Coe, to fund this whole, Josh Coe thing down to Kilmore? Who's your personal sponsor down there?
I didn't actually get onto a personal sponsor. I just got sponsored by the club itself, kind of thing. Yeah.
Be good to give back to the club, mate, at some stage. Feel free to give them some of that cash back, mate. Hiding here, an absolute hiding. Brock, who's your sponsor, your personal sponsor in the club's majors?
My personal sponsor is my boss, actually. He was nice enough to do it for me. So, Chris at SAS Landscapes. Thanks, mate. I probably should know him, to be honest, but there's a few.
Benny Kilmore.
AC Consulting, I think they're big one.
Kilmore, that's good. I spent a bit of time there. Me and Bonner spent a bit of time down there pre-season. And one thing North Heidleberg, I know firsthand, has been able to do really well is retain sponsors. And over the years, and Kilmore is such a tight-knit community down there. It's really important. So, we're always happy to send them out. My comment of the day, which I can't believe I'm going to put this up, is this. He needs to take a step ladder to take a piss. Now, he might need to take a step ladder to take a piss, but I watched Brock destroy Bundoora 2 weeks ago. You're an absolute superstar, Brock. I really enjoyed watching you. I didn't enjoy the bit where you were playing on my son, but the rest of it I enjoyed pretty well. And Josh, you've had a great season down there, mate. You've been in the best 7 out of 13 games, which makes it a worthy person down there. Guys, we're going to end the show here. Thank you so much for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. And the one thing you've learnt tonight, boys, is there's no friends in footy when we're live. So until next week, everybody, just keep kicking goals. We'll see you Wednesday night. Oh, Bonners, huge one. Wednesday night, we have Jacko Proctor coming in on Wednesday Night Live, and he's bringing us a very special guest with him. So until next week, guys, keep kicking goals.